Good morning, everybody. Yes, I know, no heated jacket, but that's because it's going to be in the 50s today. Don't think I need heat. How are we doing, boys and girls? Everybody looking good this morning? Huh? But even though it's going to be nice today, it's supposed to get down into the teens next couple nights. So I thought, you know what? It's time to put up tank heaters. And I do things a little differently than others do. So I thought I'd show you why I do my tank heaters different than other people. We'll start with this one over here. Check out the boys quick while we're here. How we doing, guys? Everybody doing fine this morning? All right, let me get ready here. All right, in the case of this heater, this one's brand new. Had to buy a new one. And over the last couple of weeks, I ran some new electrical through here. So we're going to try to take and weave it a little bit through the wire. And I think I might come back. To put a clip in here to hold that. I'm putting the heaters in, but I'm not going to plug them in. I don't need it for at least 2 nights yet. Sometimes I like to leave it for 24 hours because sometimes it's new and they like to play with it. So if anybody wants to play with it here in the first 24 hours, it's in, but it's not plugged in. All right, let's get the next one. All right, this will be a good one to explain what I do different. I have 2 styles here. This is the same as I put over here. This one's a little bit different. A lot of tank heaters. You go into a farm supply store, there's tank heaters. There's 500 watt, there's 1000 watt, there's 1500 watt. These are neither. This, and the same as the other one, was from a farm supply store. Some of them will call this, it says on it, stock tank heater, but in some cases they'll even call them bucket heaters. It's only 250 watts. Instead of 500, 1000, or 1500, it's 250. This, I picked up at my local Menards in the past. This is a bird bath heater. It's not even a stock tank, it's bird bath. It's also 250 watts. If I could have got another one of these this year, I'd have bought it instead of one of these, because this is like $33 and this was like $39. Same difference. I'd have saved $6, but my Menards did not have one, and we all know what the supply chain issues are like nowadays. So I just went to another store, picked up this. If your farm store is a Tractor Supply or a TSC, they carried nothing like this at any of the TSC stores I was at. So, but instead of the bigger wattage heaters, this works fine. This heater was in this tank last winter. I'm right out here, I'm outdoors. That's north, so this is south. I got some protection on the west side. There is no protection there on that north side. This heater sat in that. That is a 17-gallon plastic tub. I bought that at Tractor Supply. So I got a 17-gallon tub. I put a 250 watt heater in it. It sits outside in the breeze. And last year I had 2 nights, it was 24 below zero. It didn't have any ice on it. So that works in that situation at 20 below zero. I didn't have ice, and even if I would have, I'd have probably maybe had a ½ inch ice on top. I'd come out in the morning and break it on a real cold morning. Why does that mean anything? All right, most of these heaters all work. They turn on below 32 degrees. Anything above 32, they shut off. That's the figuring on it. So, depending what part of the country you're in, it's going to depend, of course, how much the heaters run. I'm going to go for 12 hours a day. I'm going to say that 12 hours out of every day, it's below 32 degrees and the tank's going to run, or the heater's going to run. So really quick, we're going to take even numbers, and there's a kilowatt hour is 1,000 watts. So we're going to take a 1,000 watt heater, and if it runs for an hour, it's a kilowatt hour. And we're going to say your power is 10 cents a kilowatt hour. All right, so if it ran an hour, it costs you 10 cents. If it runs 12 hours in a day, it costs you $1.20. If there's 30 days in a month, it costs you $36 to run that 1,000-watt heater. This costs $9. I'm going to run 3 of these, so it's going to cost me $27 a month to run 3 of them at 12 hours a day, where if I had a 1,000-watt heater, it would cost me $36 to run 1. That's where the savings comes in. These work, they use a lot less power. And as I said, if you can't get a tank heater, do a bird bath heater. That works too. In this case, the plug-in is just inside. I'll have to go around later, put the plug through, plug it in there. All right, we got one more. This one is a little different. All right, almost forgot something. Before we go to the last tank heater, I want to come back, and I'm just going to toss this on the ground over here for now. Let's take a look. Turn around. If you remember, this is where I set my hay bale up, and I feed from that pin, and I feed this pin over here off that hay bale. Now, that opening is facing east. So what happens every once in a while when we get our snowstorms around here, sometimes I get a north wind, sometimes I get northwest, really nice protection, but sometimes I just get straight east or east-northeast winds, and then I'm going to have snow that could blow in there. Now, I have on hand, just prepare for that, I got a 2x4 that's long enough I can slide through there. I have a couple sheets of 4x8 sheets of old plywood or stuff. I could set them in and block that off, and then I wouldn't have snow blowing in on the hay bale. All right. Of course, I did that. How do I get it in and out? Because I had all the wall over here. Well, I made a change. Let me show you that. I came in the inside, and I built myself a cheap door. Now, if I close that up, and I know I got the sun probably shining at you, if I close that up, I can come this way if I need to and still access my hay. And how did I build my door? Really cheap. Garage door railing. That's just 2 pieces of garage door railing. They're screwed into the side. And then I just got a sheet of leftover particle stuff. I got a couple 2x4s in the back. And basically just 2 rollers. Drill a hole, shove the roller through, and the roller slides real well on the track. Now, this is not a secure door to have sheep around. Somebody hits that thing, all you gotta do is hit that hard enough on the other side and you can push it right off. But if it's just in a situation like this, where it's just not got any pressure to it, I had one in my other barn I put up there 20 years ago. My daughter still used a 16-foot door. My daughter still uses it today. It just rolls on a garage door track. So if you're looking to make a cheap sliding door, come to me. I'll show you how to make one cheap. And that does it. Let's get on to this third tank quick. And we're going to talk about how the Rams have been doing. Callie, I don't have anything for you. No, I don't. And Stoney here, we'll get into this a little bit later, but Stoney's been doing a good job. I think he's got everybody covered in this pen. I think he's got them done. All right, let's look at this one. Let me hang this up real quick. Now, this tank is a little different. This is a big tank, and I'm not even sure 30, 40, 50, I don't even know how 40, 50 gallons, even know what it holds for sure. But I had to have this style because I needed it to do 2 pins. Now, is this 250 watt heater still going to handle that tank? I don't know that for sure. I may have to break some ice on this, but my other option was take another one of those 17-gallon totes, put one here, put one on the other side, then I have to buy another tank heater on top of that yet. And I thought, let's try this. We'll see if this heater can handle this tank. Now, right now, it's the first part of November, around middle of November now. And one time I thought I'd leave the Rams in till the 1st of February. I've kind of changed my mind. I think I'm going to take on January 15th, I'm going to make the change. The rams are going out the 15th of January. They'll have been in November, December, and half of January. All right, so that's 75 days. If they didn't get anybody bred in 75 days, maybe they're not going to, I don't know. But the other key is, on a January 15th, I can still be having lambs June 15th. And I don't really want anything after that. Hopefully I won't have to worry about that. Everybody will be long bred. But probably right now, I will take January 15th. And depending on what I see here on who's getting bred or not, I could move that up to the first of the year. But for now, January 15th. So if I move January 15th and this tank is giving me problems, I'll pull all of this out of here, take it all apart, remove it. I can remove this tank, put one of those 17-gallon like the other guys are using, and then put it in there, and I know I'm good. Because then this whole thing will be used by the ewes. All the rams will be back over there. Now, let's see. So we'll put this thing in. And like I said, whether it's actually going to work well or not, I don't know. There we go. And we're going to just leave that. And then we'll come out here in a day or so and do it. All right. Let's go inside. I got one thing. I made a change inside, and I want to talk to you about how the rams have been doing. We'll go inside and do that. All right. I made a change on my feed stuff. And I keep my feed in an old freezer. Keep my bags there. You've probably seen me mention I mix a medicated feed and a sweet feed. So I use 100 pounds of medicated, 50 pounds of sweet feed, and I mix it with a cement mixer. Now I've always had it just sitting here on the ground, but you could never use the trash can. I had to dump it into that and then take buckets and scoop it out and fill that in. So I decided to make a change. Move this if I can. And I just moved my cement mixer up on cement blocks on that side. There's some 4x4s there. It's lag screwed into the 4x4s. And I got rebar rods on either side of the 4x4 so they can't move. Now it doesn't move. Now I can go ahead and, well, hang on just a second. Let me hang this over here. Hang on. All right. So now I can go ahead, mix my feed. It mixes fine. I can slide my trash can underneath it. And if I take the lid off, it'll work. But then I can dump right into it. I don't have to manhandle buckets anymore. So I'm real happy about that. So if you ever find an old electric cement mixer somewhere you can pick up cheap, they are great for mixing feed. No doubt about that. Now, last thing we're going to discuss is how the rams been doing. All right, how the rams been doing. They've been doing pretty well, and some better than others, but I can't see them all real well. Long shots in the far pen, I don't see him that well. Stu I can see better, and Stony, those two I can see a little bit better even when I'm in the house. But I also have cameras out here. So in the case of long shot, I've actually seen him cover 2 ewes through the cameras. And in the case of Stony, I saw him cover 1 ewe, but it was at night, but the cameras work at night, so I could still see him at night. And I've done the same thing with Stu. I've seen some of his in the camera, more of those I've seen not. I have taken in the past and marked them. There is a powder paint. I think I got a can. If it is, I'll show you. And I marked ewes last year, and what I do is I would put a spot on the butt. You put a spot of this on the butt, and whenever they're covered, it starts rubbing the spot off. So I did that last year, and that worked pretty decent. But this year I thought, all these new rams, who knows what's going to happen. This could be a while. I didn't bother. But the key was I've kind of been able to watch them and see them. Now, I do 2 things here. I mentioned I have a sheep breeding book that I made. And I think you'll probably find the link. If you go to my website, you'll find it there. And I put the ram, and all the ewes that are with them. Right now they just got the ewes with them. But I do another thing, and that is I print myself out a calendar piece. This is November 21. All right. I put the rams in on October 31st. Now, the very first day they're in, long shot in this pen, I saw him really quick cover Brownie, but then he never cared about her again. Never went near anything. He was kind of looking at everybody. So I thought, well, really, was she even in? But I marked her down on the 31st as being covered by him. Now, go 17 days ahead, and let's see if she comes in again on November 16th. So I got him marked for the 31st over here. Well, turns out on the 15th, long shot was covering Brownie again on the 15th. So I look back and I say, well, okay, clearly she was probably in on the 30th. I put him in on the 31st. That's why he bred her, but he really didn't care that much because she was on her way out. So she is now marked there, but she's now marked as being bred. You get the 15th down here, the right one. She was covered on the 15th, and marked it down to 2nd. Every one of these I have in. Cayenne, I've got her with Stu on the 1st. Hart is down there with Stu on the 4th. Here was a good day. The 10th was a great day. Blackie over here, Dub down there. And there's one I'm not 100% sure. I was doing a video, one of the last videos, I was showing you Stoney he was real interested in Tammy with the Texas doll ewe in that pen. I never actually seen him cover her that day, but he was around her a lot that day. So I'm going to kind of assume maybe they bred that day. Everybody is listed on this sheet. All right, so what I have now, I know in Stu's pen, I have a 2021 ewe lamb there that I've never seen get covered. Whether she has been or not, I don't know. I've never seen it. In Stoney's pen, I've seen him, we're not 100% on Tammy, but I've seen him cover the other two. That pin's done. Over here on Longshot's pen, I have a 2021 ewe lamb. I haven't seen him cover yet. I have another ewe that I haven't seen, but I remember him really spending a lot of time and attention to that ewe back on the 1st to 2nd November, the first day or so he was in there. Could he have bred her back then and I didn't see it? Possible, we'll find out. But the key is, now I watch him. All right, and taking this bigger ewe over here, that was Billy Joe. Did he breed her in the 1st to 2nd? I don't know. But if I take 17 days and say he did the first 2 days, that's like the 18th or 19th. So she should be in again. If she didn't breed then, well, guess what? I'm past that already, and I have not seen her in any time have I seen her paying attention, him paying attention to her. So I'm going to think maybe she did get bred. So I may only have 2 left. 2 of the 2021s maybe all we have left. I won't know for sure because here's my calendar. And right here on the 10th, Blackie, Dub, and Tammy all got bred on the 10th. I take 17 days. I'm at the 27th. That is a week from today. I'm doing this right now on the 20th. On the 27th, I keep an eye on those 3. I want to keep an eye, is he chasing any one of those 3? If he's not, we're going to be pretty sure they may be bred. Hershey, the 12th, 17 on the 29th, we'll be looking again. And for these over here, Bingo Cali, Brownie, we'll be off in December. I got another sheet here for December. So this is what I do. They come in every 17 days. So if they're bred, I'm going to go 17 days, and I'm going to keep a real close eye and see if they come back again. Now, once they are bred, or at least I think they are bred, and we're done with this, I'm now going to come back to my sheep record book, and I'm going to go to each one of those ewes, and in my notes over here, I'm going to make notes of when they're bred, so I think I got an idea when they may lamb. But more importantly, let's take Brownie. Brownie was covered here. We think it was a day late, but either way, so she was covered. Now she's covered again. If I go 17 days and she gets covered again, that means she didn't breed either of these times, and now we're on to the 3rd time. Well, maybe she finally breeds. So she finally gets bred, but I want to make note in the breeding book and in my other sheep record book under her that it took 3 times to get her bred. I don't know if that means I'm going to get rid of Brownie Or I don't know if that means I'm not going to keep her offspring because she's hard to come into season, but I am going to keep track. It took me 3 times. I don't know what it took last year. Last year she had twin ram lambs, but they were with my son-in-law. I don't know if she got bred first time out, second time out, whatever. But I'll know this time it took 3, if that's what it takes. We'll see next year. Next year, if she takes the very first time, I ain't going to worry about it. But as long as I got the records in the book, I'll know to look for stuff like that. And that's part of all the things that I want to look for. Is one a hard breeder? Is one an easy breeder? I want all the information I can have from each sheep to help me make decisions on who stays, who goes, what offspring. I definitely, this one has all these great traits. I want any ewe lambs to come from her. I want ewe lambs to come from that. Those I will save. I won't sell those. I save those for myself. Or if I sell those, they're going for a little extra money. I'm going to get a little extra money out of that because I got a reason I can charge you more. I'll tell you why I'm going to charge you more for that ewe because of why I think she's worth more. So all those figures to me are important. But I get into this stuff. I love this stuff. I'm a pedigree geek. I'm a geek for all this data. I like doing that type of stuff. Some people don't, and they could care less. So that's part of my deal with it. All right. Heaters are in. Ready for cold. I'm never ready for cold weather, but I guess we're going to be ready for cold weather. The hay bale's coming down a little faster than I thought. I was hoping that was going to last me longer. There's a lot there, and it's going to last a long time. But either I'm feeding them too much, or these bales don't weigh as much as last year's, because I seem to think that thing's going down a little sooner, but hopefully it won't be too much too soon. That's all I got. Hey, and we are going to come back and talk about registration percentages. I said we'd talk about that. We'll try to get back to doing that maybe in the next week or so. Thanks for staying with me.